Hello and welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Thank you so much for the support over the last recent videos. I really appreciate it. And a lot of you have wanted more information about the CLS Forex liquidity cycle. So in today's video, I'm going to go over where the entry points are, how to set up the cycle indicator, and etc. And then also the two favorite timings of each day that I currently trade. So everything, we can't forget what we've learned in the past. We have to still use our fair value gaps, our liquidity, our draws on liquidity, our Asian range, and then obviously overall price market trend. We have to still include this within our trading to make this work nicely. So I'm going to show you some clear examples of how we can use the two CLS cycles that I preferably trade every day. And then I'm going to show you how to set up our fib cycle time. So if you are new here, make sure you like and drop a subscription down below. And that will just indicate to me that you want more videos like this. So jumping in to Friday's example. So we're going to start on this Friday. It was in fact NFP. And as you can see, we did actually take out Wednesday low as our draw on liquidity within NFP. So what I usually would look for around here is some kind of nice close like this. And then obviously we want to wait for a change of delivery. So I then go down to our 1 minute time frame. And this is when I used my CLS entry cycle strategy, which as you can see here came after perfection. So within this wick here, that was our liquidity, our sell side liquidity was taken. And then we can see price market structure starting to shift to the upside. So as you can see, bullish candles start getting rejected from bearish candles, and then we see continuations. So with the time cycles within the CLS, I did actually make a video on all the timings, so go back and watch that video. But just so we know what cycle we're talking about 90-minute cycles, and this one is in New York session, and this is one that I trade. It's the 8 o'clock to 9:30 cycle. So with our fib time zone tool, so you can find that within here. You then want to go to your settings, and you want to have these coordinates on like so. Then what you want to do is you want to go from 8 o'clock with the 0 and drag it all the way to 9:30 and that will just show you the full cycle. What this green location is, and as you could probably guess, this is our entry time. So I will not take a trade within this, and I will not take a trade within this column, right? Our entry happens within 0.47 and 0.67. If we do not see an expansion offering us a fair value gap, then there is no trade on. And most likely that cycle is a consolidation, accumulation phase of the daily cycle. But usually 8 o'clock usually presents itself and gives us an entry most days. And we will backtest a few examples on this. This was one that I actually took on Friday. So I waited for NFP release, and we took out sell side. We then saw price delivery change. And as you can see, we had our entry into this fair value gap here in our 0.47, 0.67 range. So you might be asking, what is this column? This column is where market price delivers into some kind of liquidity. So if we look left, we see we have a high here, and then we also have a high here. And do you notice? So if we mark this high on, this would have been my first target. And then my second target would have been Asia high, as obviously we were overextended to the downside, liquidity was taken. So as you can see, the concepts still are relevant, but then we can just use them for targets. And as you can see, what did price do? Price delivered perfectly into all of our targets and then continued on into yesterday's daily high as well. So there was clear highs for this trade. It was a very nice trade. We could have potentially have caught a 9R on this, but if we were just going within our cycle, it would have been a 4.7R trade. And that is simply just using our 0.47 and our 0.67 zone. So looking back, so that is my New York cycle, 8 o'clock till 9:30. That is the one that I will trade in New York. These are the only two times of the day I trade, by the way. So 8 o'clock into 9:30. That is a key cycle. And then you're wanting the entry within the 047 and 067. If you are looking to learn more knowledge about the CLS and all my other strategies, make sure to look at the link in the description. Mentorship and trade ideas is only £99 a month at the minute. So make sure to get into the group as soon as possible to level up your trading game. Other than that, we'll show you a London example from Friday. Also, we can literally backtest this on any day. I usually don't trade Mondays, but any day other than Monday. Okay, so within this, what did we see? We didn't really see much. We were obviously extending to the downside to take out Wednesday's low. But what we can do is we can plot on our 2 o'clock open. So 2 o'clock is 7 o'clock UK time at the minute. So we're 5 hours behind, but in the summer hours, it's only 4 hours behind. So obviously these change a bit. So that's why I'm on UTC, New York local time at all times, just so I'm aligned with the cycles. So we go from 2:30 till 3:30 is the first cycle that I will trade of the day in London session. And then obviously New York is the second session that I will trade. And as you can see, what did we have here? We saw price extended to the downside. We then came in, fulfilled an FVG within these 1 minute candles along here. And as you can see, what we can do is we can wait for a mini break of structure within this candle here. So obviously we have to understand what the 1 minute price chart is also telling us in certain scenarios. So we know that we've got clear sell side liquidity at Wednesday's low. And we also know that this candle here was inefficient and became efficient once we had that wick in. We've then, same again, fulfilled this inefficiency with this wick here and extended to the upside to fulfill this candle up here. So we have some kind of order block within here, maybe a 30-second FVG. Obviously, you have to start to understand the price on the lower time frame and what it's trying to tell you. We've then had the break of structure. So obviously, we've closed through fair value gaps. They're no longer holding. We've came into a point of interest. We've then sold off, broken structure. And then what happens? We broke structure with these candles here. In our entry zone, price has delivered us another entry point. So let's say you took the trade from here. Stops probably would have covered 50% of the 1 minute order block, maybe just above this high, just to be extra safe. Either way, you're looking about 3 pip stop loss. And then what we can do is we can look to the left. And as you can see, if we keep going to the left, we should have some lows. So this was our low, 108.935. So that's our overall target for this trade, which did in fact get taken out within NFP. But even if we just held, so this is what I usually do in my cycles. I usually just hold until the cycle finishes. So the cycle finished here. So that's when I would have got out the trade. And that's another nice 3.5R. So that's 2 examples. If we move across left, we can have a look for some more. Let me just check Thursday's price action to see that it wasn't just an accumulation day. Obviously, you want to be trading on days where there's some kind of news event that has some catalyst and volume within the market. So Thursday looked pretty dead, to be honest, but we will, in fact, have a look at it and just see if we can find anything within this trading day. We did, in fact, extend to the upside in London. So what we can do is look at the London cycle that I usually trade. So obviously, again, time cycle, 2 o'clock is what we'll go for. And then we'll stretch that out to 3:30. So this is our first cycle of London. And then we have an entry point within here. So as you can see, this would have been a nice trade. We've had a clear low put in over New York midnight. And we've taken out that low and reacted from some kind of fair value gap within these 1 minute time frame. And then we saw price break up to the upside. Again, we're ignoring this price action and then waiting to see where price and the CLS want to deliver price. And as you can see, they've gave us a nice fair value gap, which comes in at exactly our entry point. So again, this is where I would have took my entry. We probably would have taken it from the open, and then stops. You could probably have covered this fair value gap just to be super safe. And then obviously we'll look to the left again and see where price had a clear draw. So we had a clear draw on liquidity at this high here. And then we had another draw within this high and this high. So if we marked on this high as our draw on liquidity, which I do believe was Wednesday's daily high. So a nice target for this trade overall. And what do we see price do? So price within our cycle delivers a 2R by the looks of it. 2.5R delivered within that current cycle. What we then can do is have a look what price delivered after this. So if we go from 3:30 till 5 p.m. And what do you see price do? Price, again, gives us an opportunity to get scaling within our cycle times. So our entry would have been on this FEG. Stops can cover anything that's not being fully mitigated. So you'd probably run your stop around about there, just to cover this fair value gap here. And then what we can do is we can extend this to the cycle high and into our buy side high. And as you can see, price delivers perfectly right at the end of the cycle. And this is what I expect in most cycles. A few of them can be accumulation cycles, so watch out for that, but make sure to back test. Once again, if you do want to see more content like this and more information, how to use the CLS alongside my other concepts, make sure to click the link in the description, and all the information is down there to learn even further and learn this in detail. But this is what runs the Forex market. Trend lines, all of that kind of stuff doesn't work. So make sure to be learning this type of trading. Otherwise, you're really letting a lot of profits slip through your fingers. Other than that, it's been Alchemist FX, and I will see you all in the next video.